before I continue, I need to tell you about what brought me to this hostility towards Christianity and anything that kind of remotely resembles Christianity, right? So we're going to pause right there. Now, years before this even happened, when I was still in the streets, running around like an idiot, doing all that stuff, I was invited to a Santeria meeting. Now, the way if you don't know what Santeria is, it's an Afro-Cuban religion in which they pray to saints, or they call them orishas, right? They pray to saints, and in praying to the saints, you light candles, you got a little altar and everything. I had no idea what it was. And I'm going to get into how I learned what it was. But so I was doing that for a long time. I got invited to my friend's house. He was like, John, you got to come see this. They used to call me Clash more often. So Clash, you got to come see this. This lady's going to tell you your future. She's going to tell you everything you need to do in your life, blah, blah, blah. And me, even though I didn't really believe in God, I still believed in psychics. I remember I went to Atlantic City to get my palm read. I didn't go there to get my palm read. I was on the boardwalk. And the lady read my palm, and she was like, you're going to work with your hands the rest of your life. I was like, this is not what I want to hear, because I wanted to be a famous rapper, right? So I was looking for anybody to tell me that I'm going to be a famous rapper, right? Now, excuse me real quick. So the timelines of all this stuff is kind of like overlapping each other. It's like an MCU movie. It's like I'm living two different lives, right? So in one life, I'm like, yeah, Christianity is stupid. God doesn't really exist, whatever. And in the other life, I'm practicing Santeria. But the reason I was practicing it was because I looked at it like a good luck charm. And this is how they got me. So I go to the meeting, right? And I didn't know what it was. But picture any regular like seance movie that you could think about. It was kind of like that, except downplayed a bit. There was candles everywhere, but I walked in and everybody's smoking cigars, drinking beer, playing music, having fun. And I'm like, man, this is pretty cool, So I'm smoking cigars, drinking my beer, and just like partying. But nothing's going on yet. Then all of a sudden, the atmosphere like shifts a little bit, right? And I don't mean that in like the weird new apolist NAR. I don't know how to say that. New apolistic. But you know who I'm talking about? Like those weird Christians that like the atmosphere shifting, Holy Spirit atmosphere. It wasn't like that. I just mean it got weird, right? So this lady, I watch her start going into a trance. And what's crazy is I knew this lady. This was somebody that I knew through my friend. I didn't know that she was the lady that was going to tell us our fortunes or whatever. I had no idea. So well, let me just make sure everything's good. All right, we are good. So she starts doing this stuff and everything's in Spanish, right? But she transforms into somebody who's not her. I know that sounds weird, but I'm witnessing this happen, right? Not physically, but at the same time, yes, physically, because like her body changed. If you're listening to this on streaming, like I'm making weird body symbols, like it was like she was convulsing, right? And then would turn into, her personality would shift, right? And then she would be this one person for a while, and then she would get a different color sash. There were these sashes, right? And she would get a different color one, and then boom, she would turn into a completely different person. She even turned into a baby crawling on the floor, like all of these weird things, right? And while she does this, she's calling people over to talk to them, right? So I'm like, oh, she must be telling them their future. So I'm like, when is she going to tell me? And then all of a sudden she brings me up. So this is what happens. This lady starts telling me things that I never told anybody. Nobody. Never told them a single thing. And she knew these things about my childhood and about my family that nobody knew. And I was like, oh, this is bugged out. But not only that, I would speak to her in English and she would respond to me in Spanish. I had one of my friends was translating for me, but she would my friend would not translate what I said in English to her, and this person did not speak English. I knew this person did not speak English. So here I am speaking English to this lady, and my friend's not translating it, and the lady is speaking back to me in Spanish, answering the questions that I asked her. Totally bugged out. So then she goes, she tells me that they're going to give me, she says, we're going to give you everything that you want. You want to be on stages, you want to do this, you want to do that, we're going to give you everything that you want. And all you have to do is light these candles, use this, make this food, put this here, do the whole altar thing, essentially. Now me, you got to understand, guys, I got zero spiritual discernment. I don't even think God is really real. All I know is that this lady is telling me something that I never told anybody. She's telling me about things in my family that I never told anybody. And she's telling me about my current life situation and telling me that they're going to give me everything. I said, look, what is the worst that could happen? I light these stupid candles. I make this altar and all these good things happen. Let's do it, right? So boom, signed up for the class right then and there. Bought the things, made an altar, kept my candles lit. I read the little prayers that they told me to read. I thought this was like some Roman Catholic thing because they're telling you they pray to the saints, right? So this is me just doing this and life got better. It did. It 100% got better for me. This is when music started like really kicking off. I was winning awards. I was getting managed. Like that's like that period right there, right? So things were getting better for me, and then I got lazy, right? So I stopped lighting my candles. I stopped buying the little candy to put in the dish. I stopped putting the cigars there. I stopped putting the little liquor there. Why do these saints need liquor? Like it's hard liquor. It's not like they're drinking wine, but whatever. I'm not questioning anything. I don't know any better. So I kind of stopped doing all that stuff, or just did the bare minimum. Then I get a call from one of my friends, and they're like, John, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. Why? What's up? They're like, the saints are mad at you. I'm like, what do you mean they're mad at me? They're like, yeah, they know you're not taking care of your altar. They know you're not lighting the candles. They know you're not doing this. And if you do not start doing this stuff again, they're going to take everything from you. I was like, what? All right, what do I got to do? Oh, you got to do a seance. You got to do this. So I now had to buy all of this stuff to do my own party and everything. I was the host of the party that people invite people to. Really bugged out. So at that party, a few things happened. One, they said, hey, if you do not continue to do this, we're going to take everything from you. And I'm like, I don't know if it was that party or the next one is when they said that. Probably that one. And when they said that, I'm like, yo, we making threats now? We're making threats. Like, that's what's going on? But I'm like, well, who cares? Let me light these stupid candles. And if I'm getting everything that I want, let me just do it anyway, right? So I don't think it was that one. Then the next one, I see some really bugged out stuff. This lady, I don't know if it was the next one. Whatever. The time doesn't matter. It matters to me, not you guys. So this lady starts breaking glass while she's possessed. She starts breaking glass and swallowing it. She breaks it over her head, breaks the glass over her head, picks up the pieces and starts swallowing glass. Thanks so much for watching that clip from the Why Jesus podcast. If you want to see the full episode, click right here, and you can also find us on all streaming services. God bless.